Hello and welcome. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm hoping I am streaming live right here on YouTube. I'm going to check in a moment to see that we are here. And we're going to get right into the conversation for this evening. So give me a moment just to see what I am. And then I'm going to give you all my attention, hopefully, somewhere along the line. Bear with me a moment. Figure things out. See where we are. All right, we are apparently live. There we go. Loving it. Hoping you can hear me. There we go. Yes, you can. Bear with me a moment. Perfect. Awesome. So welcome and happy Wednesday to each and every one of you on this evening of August 26th, 2026. And for those of you who are catching me for the very first time, let me give you a quick intro. I am Reverend Dr. Joanne into BarryColon's. I'm the founder of Holistic and Why, as someone who supports women over 40 in releasing emotional weight without dieting, while holding space as they gain confidence and courage to step away from outdated relationships, old subconscious beliefs, and their 9 to 5. In addition, I blend astrology, numerology, and Reiki talk therapy into my practice. The W represents the whole person that you are. And today, I'd like to share a little bit about the energy that we are moving into. We are in what's called massive portal season. Now, if you're not familiar with what portals are a gateway or a doorway that helps us to transform, helps us to release things that we no longer need, help us to become lighter, help us to learn to navigate away from the ego and more into our higher consciousness. And we do have portals every month based on the month's number and the specific day. So just to give you a few examples, January is the first month. So we have a portal on January 1st, then we have the portal on January 11th, that 1-1 energy. And then we have other portals such as the 11th day, the 22nd, and whatever the year is. For example, as I mentioned, today is August 26th of 2026. This is a portal energy, 2626 portal. And when we talk about the portal of the energy of the day based on the year, we're looking at that 2 and 6 energy. So the 2 is the representation of our relationships with ourselves, with others, with the planet, with the earth, with food, with our physical body, and of course, the relationship we have with material and physical possessions and money. That's all the relationships in the narratives of the number 2. The 2 is also very much associated with both Libra and Taurus energy, as both are ruled by Venus energy. So it really is about the nature of our aesthetics, beauty, love, and all the physical material possessions. In addition to valuing ourselves, how do you value yourself? How do you put yourself on the scale in reference to balancing line between others and yourself? Do you make yourself a priority where you come first? It's like that old expression when you are on an airplane and they say, put your oxygen mask on. You put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you help others, as opposed to trying to help others and then save yourself for last. So when we think about that too, it's all about our worth, our value. What do we value and how do we value ourselves? And how we value ourselves is going to be a mirror reflection to how others value us as well. So something we really want to pay attention to based on this number 2 energy. Then we have the 6. Now the 6 is very vibrational as well because it happens to be the vibration of the heart in itself, as it's a healing number and it's about nurturing, and it's also very much associated with Virgo's energy. And interesting enough, we've entered Virgo season. So it is about being in service. It's about how do you serve others and serve yourself as well. It's about really looking at your routine, at your schedule, and being able to organize things, not necessarily to perfection. However, Virgos do get a really bad rap about wanting to be perfect, and sometimes they work so hard on wanting to be perfect that they're not perfect at all. And that's okay. It is what it is, isn't it? So we think of that sixth vibration, we think of that Virgo energy. We want to also understand that Virgo is ruled by Mercury's energy. So it is about the language, the communication that our physical body is connecting with us. And there's going to be a big topic about our physical body as we speak about our portal energy and how that aligns and all the energy we're moving into. After all, when we talk about that 26-26 portal, breaking down that 2 and 6 energy, adding it up, we get the number 8. And when we think about the number 8, 8 is about the transformation because it's a Plutonian energy, because 8 is represented by Scorpio. And Scorpio energy is all about how we are transforming through the shadow work into the light. And when we think about the word light, it really is about becoming lighter so we can transition. And upon becoming lighter and transitioning, it really is about releasing whatever no longer serves us, the things we hold on to, the emotional baggage that we carry regarding resentment, anger, frustration, um, and anything in line with that. Whereas this is the time, the perfect opportunity to really work on letting that go so you can release energy that's associated with that. So we think about that number 8 energy, and again, it's that 26-26 portal on a specific day. So if you are watching this today, this is the energy we are in. Now, it's not just about the portal for today. This is about the portal that we experience through the Lion's Gate activation of the 8-8 energy. So we have those eights again, moving into the recent solar eclipse that we recently had, and now we are going to be moving into the lunar eclipse that's taking place on the 28th. So between 27 and 28. So you notice the numbers, how the numbers are playing a role in this transition. So let's go with the 27 first and talk about those numbers. We're back to the 2 energy, so I don't really need to talk about that 2. That 7 energy is again associated with the Libra and the scale and ruled by Venus. So it is about how do we bring more harmony, balance into our everyday. And by bringing more harmony and balance into our everyday, we are going to bring more harmony and balance into our physical well-being, which is essential in this point of time when we think about the lunar eclipse energy. And then when we have that 2-7 as to 9. And we talk 9 energy. 9 is an ending, it's a completion. Now, just to add a little more something to this, when we think about our degrees in astrology based on endings and new beginnings, when we talk about the numbers 25 to 29 degree energies, that's an ending, that's a completion. So we just had this recent moon energy sitting in Capricorn and it went into a void of course. And now we're sitting in the Aquarian energy, and then we're going to be moving into the Pisces energy. So this 27 date that this lunar eclipse is taking place, which overall that 9 energy is a big reminder to what you need to put a finishing touch on. What chapter do you need to put an end to? What are you looking to complete? What are you looking to declutter? And declutter is a really good word to focus in on because it really is about all of the mental clutter that's disappear that may be causing you to feel heavy. So maybe it's a great time to focus on decluttering the thought process. When we think about the number 9 based on astrology, we are looking at the energies that's associated with Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion. And it's also about the Sagittarian energy as well, which is about your freedom, stepping into freedom, being able to truthfully speak your truth and being able to be creative at the same time, but being allowed to step into freedom. So we move into the 28th, where this eclipse is actually taking place on. And the 28, which we spoke about the 8 energy, we spoke about that 2 energy, where this is really about, again, moving through a massive transformation. Now, one of the other reasons why I came here this evening to share this insight with you is not only to talk to you about the numbers, although that's exciting and fantastic within itself. I do want to talk a little bit more about this lunar eclipse that we are going to be experiencing. And this lunar eclipse is taking place in Pisces. And if you know anything about astrology, you know that Pisces is the 12th zodiac sign, which means that there's an astrological ending happening because the moon sits in Pisces. Pisces carries this very strong, the word I'm hearing, very strong aura, because it does carry the energy of all the zodiac signs. It is the last zodiac sign, and it's a zodiac sign that literally taps us into our higher consciousness. Those of you who do carry strong Pisces energy, whether it's your moon, your rising, or your sun energy, you're here doing God's work, as the Piscean is, and I can attune to that as I am a stellium in Pisces. So when we think about that, Piscean energy is about your intuition. It's about your psychic abilities. It's about your sensitivity, your compassion, being an empath, being able to know things without knowing how you know things. And when we think about this full moon energy, this is really about learning how to let go, because full moons are all about releasing, where new moons are about bringing things in. So we think about this full moon sitting in Pisces. This is an opportunity for you to let go of the things that may be weighing you down, from allowing you to be light enough to be more intuitive, and allowing you to be light enough to be more compassionate, and allowing you to be light enough to be more empathic, and allowing you to be light enough to be able to sense and see using all of your senses. And that is the phenomenon of this beautiful full moon, assuming you allow it to take place. That's really important to pay attention to. Now, this lunar eclipse will be taking place in 4 degrees, at the 4 degree mark. And I'm going to speak about that in just a moment. I do want to remind you that we will be experiencing the full moon at 12:18 a.m. on the 28th, those of us on the East Coast. So that 12:18 mark, which is just about that AM hour. So when we think about the 4 degree mark, not only is the full moon in Pisces, which is emotional, it's water energy, that 4 degree is also very much associated with the Cancerian energy, which is also water. So this energy may have you feeling a little bit more emotional than you normally would be. And if you really correlate the energy we're sitting in right now in aspects to our recent loss from Dolly Parton, and how many of us are feeling that loss and are emotionally attuned to her presence and all that she's left behind and her legacy and all she's done in her 80 years, where you may be asking yourself, why am I so more emotional about this? Why is this like hitting home for me? And that is due to that 4 degree lunar eclipse energy. And because we do have this water energy taking place, so we want to pay attention to that energy. In addition, we want to be aware that when we speak about the lunar eclipse energy, we will be experiencing a square. Now, if you're not familiar with astrology language, what a square represents is confusion, like two people bumping heads when we think about a square. When we think about a square, I'm going to try to give you an explanation so you can really understand the concept of what a square is. So bear with me while I pull that up for you so you can really understand the process. Assuming I can get it quickly to pull it up, and maybe not, and that's okay. But bear with me. Here we go. When we think about a square energy, it is when planets in square aspects are working across purposes, at cross purposes. There are frictions between them, and they never allow each other to stop moving. You can see squares operating someone who's fidgeting or constantly restless. Although squares are uncomfortable, even at that time. But when we think about a square, it's like that resistance. And this square is going to be taking place between the Pisces full moon, Pisces lunar eclipse, and Uranus in Gemini. So let's talk on that just a bit. When we speak about Uranus energy, Uranus is about the chaos. It's about the disruption. It's about the rebellion. It's about the bigger picture because Uranus is an outer planet. So we definitely may experience some disruption happen. We definitely may experience some chaos taking place. And because Uranus is transiting in Gemini energy, and Gemini is very much associated with our hands, our arms, our neck, and our voice within itself. And let's not forget, Gemini is also very much associated with our digestion as well. And it's ruled by Mercury's energy. So there are some things you want to pay attention to during this lunar eclipse energy. Because again, the fourth degree, because it's associated with Cancer's energy, it's also associated with home, family, and mother energy. So during this eclipse, again, because we do have the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, at that fourth degree energy, we may be more heightened in our emotions, more sensitive in different things that might be going on. Things you want to pay attention to in regards to being at home, water, such as flood, plumbing, because water is the representation of things that take place at home. Now, water is also based on feng shui associated with career. So pay attention to that. We may also notice that we will have some thunderstorms in lunar eclipse. Anytime we have eclipse season, the weather gets a little wonky. So do what you can. In addition to, as mentioned, pay attention, be cautious of your arms and hands. If you use them a lot doing different things, just be a little slower at what you're doing. This way here, it prevents you from being injured. Another thing I do want to point out is that you do very much want to pay attention to anyone that has addictive personalities, anyone that may take medication. Um, you definitely want to make sure all the medication is away from children because we do not want to experience any unpleasant accidents occurring where a child might pick up a medication, not realizing it's a medication, and end up having an overdose experience. We do not want to experience that in this energy, but these things may very well happen due to the energy that we are in. Remember that portals are massive energies. And with this portal being a massive energy, not just with the lunar eclipse and not just with the full moon, but because we are experiencing this in the last zodiac sign, we need to pay attention. You also want to pay attention to if you know somebody that drinks a little too much alcohol. Keep your eye on them because that's going to be something that could lead to an unnecessary, expected experience that may not end very well. And this is all due to that fourth degree square of the lunar eclipse with the full moon Pisces squaring Uranus in Gemini energy. So we want to pay attention to these aspects. And If you do pay attention to your astrological chart, you do want to look at your chart, your placements, and see where you have any placements at 4 degree, because those placements will be heightened due to this energy as well. So, leaning caution, and needs a caution too when we talk about that 4th degree. It's about home because it is associated with the Caesarean energy. It's associated with mother wound as well. So on the lighter side, you may want to do some work on releasing any of the emotional connection that you may have with a mother wound during this lunar eclipse. So you can lighten your own energy field. As mentioned, I wanted to come and share this insight with you. There'll be more to come, whether I'm sharing it here on YouTube. You might want to join me on TikTok. I've been doing a lot of sharing there. I also do a little bit of sharing on Facebook as well. There's so many different places you can catch me in regards to learning more about different portals that we are experiencing. We are in an extremely high level of portal season. And as mentioned, if you follow me on any of the platforms I've just mentioned, when we are in a portal season, it's the time where our energies get lighter. And those who are suffering with illness or disease, this is their time to release their karma and transition back home. So it does not surprise me that we've experienced within a matter of 24 hours 2 celebrities crossing home, and I'm sure there's more to come with this energy. I'd like to pull a card to give you some insight, additional insight to all that is happening. And also, as I pull the card, I want to bring your awareness to that not only is this lunar eclipse all about that Piscean energy at 4th degree in squaring with Uranus and Gemini, but this energy is like the final chapter of when we experience the nodes being in Pisces Virgo energy, where they spent 18 months. So I like for you to think back to 18 months ago, what was going on in your life that was in relation to your Virgo energy of what you needed to release when it comes to perfection, when it comes to what is not serving your highest purpose, what is not serving your schedule, and how can you be more in service to what serves your purpose. That's that Virgo South Node energy that we experienced for the last 18 months. And then that Piscean energy is the energy of what you were here to move into from your higher consciousness, into your psychic abilities, into your lightheartedness, into your ability to preach and teach, compassion, tap more into your imagination, be the dreamer that you are, and allowing yourself to step into that energy. And of course, wherever you have Virgo and Pisces on your chart, the houses they sit in during that 18-month period. And now with this lunar eclipse, this is an opportunity to do a review and a closing on that energy. After all, we are now experiencing the nodes in Aquarius and Leo, very different vibrational energies, whereas it's not about necessarily about tapping into your higher consciousness, as it's now more about tapping into being original, authentic, being the collaborator and the creator, and allowing yourself to be as you are and not caring about what other people think that you are. That's that Aquarian energy. And the Leo energy is letting go of everything and anything that you have outgrown, your spiritual growth. If you're holding on to things just because they are comfortable for you, you are literally preventing yourself from expanding into the new energies. And because we do have Jupiter sitting in that Leo energy, where we also have that South Node sitting in Leo, this is about the bigger expansion. This is about the boldness. This is about the creativity. This is about your self expression and expanding through. So, do each and every one of planetary shifts and the different zodiac signs that we're experiencing. These are opportunities for you to release so you can expand. So just take a breath for a moment because I know I've said a lot. And you may have to go back and revisit this video to see how this lands on your chart. And I'm loving the card that is flipped over because I think it's so appropriate. And I'm hoping you're going to be able to see it with my background. I'm going to sit it back. There you go. The card is family. And that's so appropriate for this energy because, again, when we talk about that fourth degree, the lunar eclipse in Pisces squaring at fourth degree Uranus and Gemini, fourth degree is home. So it is about family. It's about who do you square in your home? Who do you have that conflict in your home? And this may be a perfect opportunity to really break free of the chaos, the disruption, the conversations, and see yourself in this higher vibration so you can learn to agree to disagree with each other and be open to understanding their point of views, even though you may not agree with their point of view. The color is green, so this is really about the matters of the heart. Want to speak a little bit about the matters of the heart and the energies that we're experiencing and all that we are experiencing through these portals. When we do have portal season, we often experience different symptoms going on in the body. And one of the biggest symptoms that many clients have reached out to me about is their heart, whether it's their blood pressure being really high or their heart beating, heart palpitations. And this is all because the energy of our planets are moving at a much faster pace. So it's moving to our body, and depending on how well you're doing with releasing your energies, that energy might be getting stuck, and that might be causing the symptoms that's showing up for you. There's so many other symptoms that you may very well be experiencing. However, I did want to highlight the heart as we have the green for the heart chakra. Keep in mind that we do speak about the Leo energy that we have Jupiter in the south node sitting in. Leo is very much associated with the heart energy as well. So we want to pay attention to that. In addition to some other symptoms, maybe ringing of the ear. Ringing of the ear is an invitation to answer the call. Spirit, loved ones may be reaching out to you. So if you are experiencing that symptom, just know that it's an invitation to connect with a loved one that may have a message for you. When we talk about the number, that 1-5, which adds up to a 6, but we're going to talk about the numbers first. So that one energy is very much associated based on numerology as a new way of doing something. You're going to be leading differently. You're going to be moving differently. You're going to be speaking differently. You're going to be identifying differently because the one in astrology is associated with Aries energy. Who am I? Why am I here? What legacy do I want to leave behind? If you've had an opportunity to check out any of the most recent interviews that many talk shows have done with Dolly Parton, one of the things she did speak on is her 80 years on this earth and all the things she's accomplished in her 80 years and all the things that she's literally left for us to appreciate as her legacy. So maybe this is the perfect time for you to review, reflect on what is your legacy? What would you like to leave behind for others to remember you as? And maybe it's an opportunity for you to sit and reflect on all the things you have accomplished up until now. And is there more for you to accomplish? And if so, perhaps you may want to put one foot in front of the other to do just that. What is your identity? So that's that first, that number one energy, that's that first house placement. That's that Aries energy is again, who am I? What am I here to do? And what legacy do I want to leave behind? We talk about the number 5. The 5 is about your freedom. In order to have freedom, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to let go of the things that keep you locked in to whatever it is that's preventing you from having your freedom to fly. So if you have this desire to travel, yet you have responsibilities that prevent you from doing so. You may want to evaluate those responsibilities and ask yourself, is this the time now to work on releasing those responsibilities so you can have the freedom to travel? So this is an opportunity to review what is preventing you from your freedom. And when I speak of freedom, this is not political freedom. This is your own personal freedom. What are you allowing to stop you from doing what it is you want to do? And always remember that if you use the term, I have no choice, you are making a choice to have no choice. And I know sometimes that could be a hard pill to swallow because now you have to really take ownership of the fact that you're choosing not to have a choice. So that five energy is also about your creativity, allowing yourself to be self-expressive, allowing yourself to show up, allowing yourself to be more playful in the energy you're in. Use that interruption. So we talk about that five energy. We are also talking about that Leo energy because in astrology, the fifth house is a representation of Leo. And when we talk about Leo energy, the planet that rules Leo is the sun. So it's the energy that shines down on you in regards to what is the light shining on for you to do so you can gain the freedom. What changes are you looking to take? What changes do you need to take? What changes are you delaying for whatever your reasons are? This eclipse season is an opportunity to break free. So we think of that 1-5 energy. We're back to that number 6 again, which is how we started the conversation off. That 6 energy is really about healing and nurturing. It's about being in service. Full circle moment as the 6 is a representation of the Virgo energy. We're in Virgo season. And as of today, the 26th, we have Mercury that just has entered Virgo season. So besides the sun being in Virgo, we also have Mercury that has entered Virgo as well. And actually that started out on the 25th, not the 26th, but that's okay. A day or two, it doesn't really matter. And when we think about Mercury sitting in Virgo season, where it's very comfortable because Mercury rules Virgo's energy. So again, the big question is, how are you being in service and how are you serving you? How are you nurturing you? Because Virgo is all about nourishment. Virgo's your nervous system. It's how you digest. It's your schedule. It's your routine. It's being organized. So this way you take care of you so that if you are someone who cares for someone else, you could be a better caretaker for them. And it's not about being perfect, even though, yes, when we talk Virgo energy, they often want to be perfect. They want to show up as perfectionists. And in the bigger picture of all things, the more they try to be a perfectionist, the more unorganized they look. So ideally, let's not focus on perfect. Let's focus more on just being in service. So that number 6 is all about the energy we're in for Virgo season. How are you showing up in service? What do you need to release through this full moon's energy and through this lunar eclipse in Pisces at that 4th degree? What do you need to let go of that's associated with home? When I speak of home, based on the Cancerian energy, I speak of 3 sections. Our shelter. So what do you need to release from your shelter? Your family, who you live with. What do you need to release from that? I speak of our career. Is your career that you're in serving your highest purpose? If we are speaking about our 9 to 5s and retro right now, because again, that was one of Dolly Parton's best songs, working 9 to 5. And 9 to 5 careers are perfect as long as it's aligned with what it is you are here to do. And we all start off with a 9 to 5 at some point in our lives. And ideally, some of us are blessed enough to step into a 9 to 5 that serves our purpose to why we're here. And some of us get to learn different tools and different skills from that 9 to 5 that helps to shape them, that helps to take them to where they're going. So if you do have a 9 to 5 that you've been relying on, you've been programmed and conditioned to believe that your 9 to 5 is your security blanket, your financial security blanket, and that's your reason for holding on to it, and you're too afraid to step into your soul's purpose. There's Porto and this 4-degree lunar eclipse in Pisces squaring Uranus and Gemini may bring some unexpected chaos and disruptions relating to your career. So be open. Do you understand that when we talk about this lunar eclipse, this is not a 1 day energy? Lunar eclipse, any eclipse, usually lasts for about a 6 month period. So if you're not seeing any big, massive disruptions happening right now, be aware that by the time we do hit into 2027, you may see some massive change taking place. Also note, as I said earlier, through this portal in this Piscean energy, this is a completion of the nodes from when we experienced the Virgo Pisces nodes 18 for the last 18 months. So think back to what was going on then, what's going on now, and how your 9 to 5 serves you, if it serves you at all, if it's helping you step into your soul's purpose, or if it's hindering you from stepping into your soul's purpose. We want to pay attention to that. And then the last part of this Cancerian energy that I speak of in the 3 parts is the physical body. Your body is your temple, your body is your home. So it's so important through this Virgo season to really pay attention to how you're servicing your body. Just like you would service a car. You would check the oil, you would check the windshield wipe fluid, you would check the transmission fluid, you would check your tires, you would do all those things from the inside out. And you want to do the same thing when it comes to your physical body. You want to check in. This is not necessarily about a medical check in as much as it is about a metaphysical attunement of recognizing how your body is aligned or how your body is not aligned. Are you in homeostasis where you're balanced, or are you off balance? And what that can show up as is that you have a hard time balancing from transitioning from one foot to the other, and that you're constantly wobbling. And that's an indication that there's an imbalance going on with your system. So, very important to check in. I highly recommend an attunement with Reiki, an attunement with chakras, an attunement with crystals, anything to help utilize the chakra system to bring everything back into alignment. So you can be one within yourself, because again, you want to check in on your body. You want to do a tune up on your body during this Virgo season. Feel free to reach out to me should you wish to grab a Reiki talk therapy session where I do work with crystals and I do work with tuning forks. And of course, I work with astrology during the session to help you really get a fine tune of what's going on within to what's going on outside, because it's an internal concept before it's an external concept. So if anything is going on externally with you where you are experiencing symptoms, it's because there's been an imbalance going on with it. So to reach out to me for that, you can either email healingwithin76@gmail.com. And if you want to, you can even locally text me, and that number is 646-236-9155. You can also find me anywhere on any platform under Holistic Fitness NY. Remember, holistic is with the W. Feel free to grab a Reiki Talk Therapy Frequent Series package, which allows you to have multiple sessions at a more affordable price. All that being said, we're going to just conclude. Family is a big topic for this lunar eclipse that we're going to be experiencing with this Piscean full moon lunar eclipse at 4-degree squaring Uranus in Gemini. Pay attention to your hands, pay attention to your arms, pay attention to your children, pay attention to any water leaks, pay attention, beware of thunderstorms, and of course, pay attention to anyone who may have an addictive personality with drugs and alcohol. We want to, as much as possible, minimize any unforeseen accidents based on this energy we're coming into. All that being said, I'd like to thank you for your time, for being here, for sharing your energy with me. I'm looking forward to seeing how and what this lunar eclipse energy brings for all of us as we step in to this new energy that's coming through. After all, the Piscean full moon is the last zodiac sign, so we are going through an astrological completion as the moon works its way into Aries. If you have questions, comments, or observations, again, you can email healingwithin76@gmail.com. One final note that I would like to invite you to, for those of you who do live in the five boroughs, and that would be Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Long Island. I think Long Island is part of the five boroughs. I'm not quite sure. In any case, I am holding a Blood Sisters Portal community meeting for the first time in person in Massapequa. So if you would like to be one of 20 women to be a member at that event, members and guests are invited. We're going to be coming together on October 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. This is an in-person event where we will connect, we will network, and we will build relationships. We will get to know each other and hold space, and more meetings to come from that. If you would like to be a part of that, feel free to reach out for more details on how you can secure your spot based on either membership or through a guest. Again, my email is healingwithin76@gmail.com. I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. Until then, see you on